It's Monday night, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you for tuning in to the Digital Forge Broadcast Network. And I said Monday because I'm still in Monday mode. Actually, it's Tuesday night, and the Children's Dream Racer Cup Series kicking it off here at Daytona with a 100-lap event here this Tuesday night. We're going to go play the national anthem when we come back. Maybe I'll get out of Monday mode and into race mode. Stay tuned, folks. We got a lot of great racing coming your way. Tuesday evening, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you for tuning in to the Digital Forge Broadcast Network. I'm Dustin Caldwell. Appreciate you tuning in to catch the opener for the Children's Dream Racer Cup Series here at Daytona this Tuesday night. If you tuned in last Tuesday, you'll notice that we had a 50-lap intro event to this series. It was a great race taking place there. Couple cautions, but overall it was a great night of racing. And tonight, expect no less as this Anarchy Motorsports Series League puts on a great show. Looks like we got a total of 38 cars so far filling up this field. It's going to go quick. Drivers right now are going to qualify, putting down the best couple laps that they can to be able to see where they're going to end up tonight on the grid. For those of you tuning in and don't know much about the track where we're at tonight, Daytona Beach, Florida, home of where it all started, NASCAR itself. Take a look at the track information there on your screen. Here at Daytona International Speedway, it's a 2.5-mile track. Weather information down below, though, is going to be the factor here tonight. Air temperature 85 degrees, 70% humidity, some overcast. And take a look at that track temperature, a whopping 90 degrees. And when these guys get in these corners, you're going to expect to see a lot of guys try to keep it as low as possible. Inside lane is probably going to be where the passing will happen right before or after these turns. You want to know more information about the Anarchy Motorsports Series, you can find them on the web, amsleague.com. Children's Dream Racer, the sponsor for this year's season, this Cup Series. Last year was the Wounded Warrior Project Cup Series. This season, Children's Dream Racer had a chance to talk with Dalton Baldwin last week about the Children's Dream Racer organization doing the great things for children in hospitals, putting different types of racing type instruments, race car build items with some video games attached inside of them for children's in hospitals and also in clinics and the waiting rooms of clinics, to where the kids can be at ease knowing that fortunately you're there for possibly a checkup, maybe something more serious, but it kind of takes the load off of the child's mind and lets them relax while they're there. As we take a look at the qualifying results so far, let's put it up on the screen. Glenn Murphy Jr. so far with a fast time, 47.394 at a 188.32 mile an hour speed. Cameron Hearn, though, take a look at that speed off of that, 6/1000ths of a second behind the 48 car. Dylan Landry in third. Randy Squeaky Arms, number 8 car, there in fourth. And Mike Springer, and we just got a big shuffle. This is the money lap, ladies and gentlemen, lap number 2 when these cars are finally throttled up. And take a look at that. The car you're going to see here tonight, sponsored by Pokemon Go, the number 85 Ford Fusion. That is Shaquille Ray running at 47.346 at 188.51. And we thought 6/1000ths of a second was fast. Take a look at Hoyt Smith, the number 92 car, in second. 1/1000th of a second behind Shaquille Ray. These guys are not drafting here in the qualifying. It is a close qualifying set. That means one car out on the track at a time, and they are doing it individually. Typically, you would see closer times if they were an open qualifying set. A lot of guys would tag up and bump draft here on these bigger tracks and these super speedways, but still to see that kind of speed that fast, and even take a look at Ryan Cobb back there, the 51 car, 3/1000ths of a second off that 47.346 time of Shaquille Ray. Very quick. It's going to be some good competitive racing. Take a look at the times down through the top 10. Look at this. Even Dylan Landry, Randy Arms running the same line. Must have. Same speed, same time. Unbelievable. It is going to be some nice competitive racing taking place here tonight at Daytona. Looks like qualifying session's getting ready to close up here in just a moment. If you want to know more about the Digital Forge broadcast lineup, had a nice refresh on the website today, forgebroadcasting.com. You'll be able to find all that information there as to what we got coming up in the schedule. And it looks like drivers are starting to make their way to the grid. As they do that, let's take a look at your grid here tonight. So we got Shaquille Ray, Hoyt Smith in that front row. Ryan Cobb, Clay Dildine will be rounding out that second row. Glenn Murphy Jr., Cameron Hearn in third. Fourth row, the number 86 of Dylan Landry to the inside of the number 8 of Randy Arms. Mike Springer, the 32 car. And James Duke rounding out the first 5 rows and your top 10 here tonight. AJ Benries Bernies, excuse me, if I can get my name right. AJ Bernies, Joshua Clark, Kevin Trzynski, Brent Nichols, Vern Bradley, Dalton Baldwin, last season's champion, will start 16th here tonight. Stuart Joyce, Steve Wilson, Steve Landry, Chris Ostrander through 20. Craig Embry, Jonathan Schwartz, David McMahon, Thomas Conheady, Joseph Green, Danny Bowman Jr., Mike Tant, Big Mike Tant, the number 50 car, and 27th to the inside of Scott Tucker in 28th, the 00 car. Eric Burrell, John Joyce will round out through 30. Big field here tonight, folks. 31st position, David Collier Jr., Rob Haynes, Philip Neese, John Ollis, Sammy Holmes, Jason Ashby, Lance Carpenter, and Sean Garreau will round out shotgun on the field in 38th position. Wow. This is going to be a good, phenomenal night of race action coming your way momentarily. And pace car looks to be ready to take these boys around. Guys start to move off of pit road. Here they come. Tonight's wall cameras, crank it up cams, and center field cams brought to you by Ryan X9 cameras. And that massive field makes its way out of turn number 2. Down the backstretch, they're going to bunch it up. Pace car will be into the pits this time by. And we will kick off the Children's Dream Racer Cup Series season here at Daytona. It's time to kick off the 2016 season Children's Dream Racer Cup Series. Pace car into the front stretch, brings it down pit road. Here we go. There goes the pace car.
Green.
And the green flag flies. We're off to the race. And we have got a big action out of turn number 2. Cars got into it. They collided just a little bit. Chris Ostrander, the 73 car, looks to be intact. The 84 of Stephen Landry looks to have a little bit of damage on him. So let's go back and take a look at the replay. And right there it is. Stephen Landry is going to get a little turn and assistance from the 87 of Craig Embry. And Embry's going to go airborne. Take a look at that. Unbelievable, that 87 car. 2 weeks in a row makes a little incident in the backstretch. Craig Embry, Cameron Hearn last week had an incident around a couple laps to go. And that intro race finishing under the yellow. And tonight, Craig Embry, unfortunately, having a little bit of contact with Stephen Landry early on in this race here, folks. Oh, a little bit of ARCA brake action there from the number 3 of Sammy Holmes. Says, hey, Craig, how you doing right there? As he's going to go by without a front bumper. A lot of damage on that number 3 car. So, a lot of nerves to work out in this early part of the season, folks. We're going to take a short commercial break. When we come back, we'll have some race action for you. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back.
iRacing.com is a sim racing game that combines a true-to-life racing experience with an online community of virtual racers from all over the globe. iRacing offers a multitude of officially licensed cars and tracks, laser scanned with millimeter accuracy. Their car models and mechanical systems are based on real-world physics and engineered in cooperation with manufacturers and race teams. iRacing's web-based interface allows members to compare stats and test drive any combination of car and track instantly. Their skill license system ranges from rookie to pro, ensuring members are always pitted against those with similar skill sets. Members are able to sign up for a weekly race series, compete in time trials, host a private race with friends, and participate in racing leagues created and run by the community. With over 60,000 members, iRacing works in partnership with renowned motorsport organizations like SRO Motorsports Group to deliver virtual races based on the real-life Blancpain GT series. iRacing's Blancpain Endurance Series features team racing, giving members the ability to build a team and participate in races ranging from 3 hours to 24 hours. Additional partners include NASCAR, IMSA, V8 Supercars, IndyCar, allowing members to race in their very own 24 hours of Spa, Bathurst 1000, Daytona 500, and many more. iRacing.com, delivering the most authentic racing experience short of getting into a real race car.
Welcome back to Daytona, ladies and gentlemen. We're about to head back green as the pace car will be into the pits this time by.
Green flag, flag.
There's the green flag. It's back out. Right now, looks like. like we got our first green flag lap completed here on lap number 6. As Ryan Cobb up to the race lead, leads them into turns 1 and 2. Nice single file line here in the first top 10 drivers. All the way from Cobb to Bernie's, excuse me. Cobb leads them into turn number 3. Right behind him, the 48 of Glenn Murphy Jr., Hoyt Smith, the number 92, and the 67 of Cameron Hearn. Rounding out your top 5, the number 8 of Randy Arms and a yellow-blue Wrangler Dale Sr. throwback car. Cross that start-finish line into lap number 7. Some split, possibly looking at getting into that higher group as Dalton Baldwin now into the top 10, 9th position. At number 76 of James Duke, also looking at the high side. Needs a draft partner if they want to get out there. 028 of Joshua Clark. We'll now see that 76 car to the outside is the 72 car. That is Brent Nichols. Going to look to go with that 76 of Duke. And Baldwin to the inside now. He's going to work that inside groove. Down comes the 76 of Duke. 72 will be left to the high side. Brent Nichols is going to fall back a few positions. Here comes the 74 of Vern Bradley to the inside to close that gap. And wow, that is the effect of a super speedway right there. You go up for a high line, you got to have a partner. If not, this is how fast you fall back as we watch the 72 continually fall back. It's up around the top 5 now, just outside the top 12. Dalton Baldwin now looks to make a move for 7th position on the outside as he's right behind the 76 of James Duke. Here he goes. A little side draft action into turn 1 as he goes to the high side. Really keeping it low to Duke's car as he tries to pull out, and here comes the doors going to shut. As it looks like that 01 of A.J. Bernies is going to shut the door on him, but no, the 76 now of Duke comes up high. Here comes the 74 of Bradley. They're going to start to work that outside lane and get some double wide action. Baldwin out there all by himself. It looks like Vern Bradley's waiting for Baldwin to come back before he picks him up and starts the draft. And Baldwin's going to fall behind Bernies here into the front stretch on lap number 10 as they work their way into turn number 1. Into the backstretch they go. Ryan Cobb now with a total of 7 laps led in this race. Out of the first 9 complete. It'll be 10 this time around. He should have 8. With the way he's been running, Glenn Murphy Jr. settled up behind him there. Baldwin still trying to work that outside, back in 8th position. Here comes Duke to the high side. Now they got something going up there in that middle groove. As that 76 car of James Duke, the number 4 of Dalton Baldwin, the 74 of Vern Bradley, and now looks like the 12 of Kevin Trzynski in the Fago machine is going to look to come up there, but settles back down just as they get something going in the front stretch or back stretch. Looks like a lot of these guys are peeling off for that lower line. Into turn number 3, they begin to work that outside line. Here comes James Duke with Dalton Baldwin behind him to the outside of the 028 of Joshua Clark into the front stretch. And it looks like Duke's going to be side by side with Arms. Clark and Baldwin side by side in the front stretch as they make their way on lap number 12 to turn number 1. Vern Bradley still to the outside. Kevin Trzynski now sees Stuart Joyce, the quicker picker-upper Bounty Ford machine, behind him. And talking about Stuart Joyce, you see right there in that Ford Fusion, this Indiana driver posts up a bounty every year. Says, hey, if you could beat Dalton Baldwin, We got a prize for you, and a big incident right there in turn number 4.
All right, man. Caution is out. Caution is out.
And that is going to bring out the second caution flag of the night. Kevin Trzynski, the Fago car. A lot of damage on that Chevrolet as he makes his way down the front stretch just to the outside of the 55 of Joseph Green. And it's all going to start right here with Dalton Baldwin trying to make a move. We had some 3-wide action. James Duke to the outside. We're going to slow up the camera here and take you down close to the action. And right there, just a sway from Duke. He's going to come down into the 67 of Cameron Hearn. Cameron Hearn right here is going to go up. And we're going to see Vern Bradley, Randy Arms. A couple other drivers getting collected in a major incident right there in turn number 4. 72 of Brent Nichols is going to make contact with the wall. Luckily, the safer barrier is there to save some damage on that car. And boy, did Vern Bradley get a big brunt of it. So the caution flag for the second time tonight comes out on lap number 12. We're going to take a short commercial break, folks. When we come back, more race action to come your way. So don't go anywhere. We'll be back.
So I'm Dan Garrison, engineer at iRacing. I've been working on dynamic track and wanted to take the lab coat off to kind of give an update on what I've been doing to enhance things on the asphalt side, what we're kind of calling the dynamic track version 2. When we started looking at dirt and the interaction between the tire and the track, kind of pointed us to some things we could improve on the asphalt side as well. We were able to kind of rework the calculations that account for heat transferring generally in the direction from the tire to the track. The track will cool a little bit faster when cars are not on it, but more significantly, cars running on the track are going to impart more energy into it, bringing the temperature up and changing the racing experience so that you do have to be wary of the track getting hot and reducing your grip. I've been rethinking some of the calculations that determine kind of how the rubber is torn, whether it's how much is torn from the tire, how much is torn from a rubbered-in track. I've made some changes so that rolling tire will pick up more rubber. We also looked at the thickness of the rubber under the contact patch and realized we can make improvements to the model there. As a result, we're able to make the tire respond a little bit more to how much rubber is there. We're able to influence how fast the track rubbers in areas where the tires are working hard. So I'm excited about these changes that we're making. The temperature in the track is going to be a lot more dynamic. It's going to mean you're going to have to dive around looking for the cool parts of the track. I think it's going to make the different lines come in and change the racing experience, and I'm really kind of excited to see how this is going to change things following the September build when it comes out.
Welcome back to Daytona. Lights off the pace car here on lap number 16. 2 cautions on the board here tonight in this race opener, or series opener, should say. Dalton Baldwin from 12th position all the way to first here in the first 16 laps. Was able to escape the turn 4 incident that came out on lap number 12. Coincidentally, a little contact with the 76 of James Duke. And Duke went around and had a big massive pile up at turn 4. Here is what your top 5 looks like as they come down the backstretch. Baldwin, Smith, Murphy Jr., Clark, and Bernies are your top 5. As the pace car makes its way into the front stretch, we're going to be going back green on lap number 17. There goes the pace car.
Green flag.
The green flag flies. Here we go. Dalton Baldwin up front. Nice side-by-side battle here on lap number 18 as Dalton Baldwin to the outside of the number 92 of Hoyt Smith into turn number 1. Some nice side-by-side action compared to what we've seen once the green flag got underway. And it looks like the 48 of Glenn Murphy Jr. now to the inside, bump drafting that 92 just ahead of the 4. Here comes that 0-1 machine of A.J. Bernies to the inside, the 0-28 of Joshua Clark. Kevin Trzynski had heavy damage back on lap 12 in that incident out of turn number 4. Got some repairs done. He's back in it, looking to be just outside the top 5 and 6 position as they come down the front stretch now. Baldwin pulling that side draft off the 48 Lowe's Chevrolet of Glenn Murphy Jr. Speaking of Lowe's, we got another Lowe's sponsored car, the 028 Joshua Clark. A lot of Jimmy Johnson fans here in the Anarchy Motorsports Series, and it shows here tonight with 2 of the top 10 drivers here as they make their way out of the out of turn number 2 into the backstretch. Dalton Baldwin now falling back off the pace just a little bit as the train underneath him keeps on rolling. Baldwin to the high side. Looks to fall back to the 55 of Green. That's Joseph Green to the inside now as they come out of turn number 4 into the front stretch here on lap number 19. Some more side-by-side action continues here into lap 20 as they work their way into turn number 1. The number 23 car back off the pace, David McMahon, just outside the top 10 in 11th position behind the 72 of Brent Nichols. And it looks like that outside line begins to form up in the backstretch. Here we go. They may have something working if they all work together. Here comes some bump draft action, a little bit of bump. And now the draft begins between Clark and Baldwin as they head into turn number 3, and you start to see the momentum come back as the high line to the outside starts to work its way back in the front stretch. Baldwin trying to do what he can. Stuart Joyce to the inside of Clark now. The number 78 of Eric Burrell just ahead of Stuart Joyce. White Smith still at the head of the field into turn number 2 here on lap 21. And it looks like Joshua Clark is going to come down to the lower groove. Dalton Baldwin convinced that outside line is going to work here tonight if he could just get some draft support. Lap traffic ahead as Big Mike Tant to the high side as they work their way around. Was also caught up in that lap 12 incident. And now Baldwin finally comes down, and it looked like almost a little ping pong action there with the 23 car. As Mike Tant was to the high side, a little nervousness back there, but it got settled down as the 23 of David McMahon was looking a little nervous. He's still out there to the outside line. Warmer temperatures here today are keeping a single file line as they come out of turn number 2 into the backstretch. A.J. Burney's looking a little antsy back there in third position as he might want to make a run on the outside. Kind of giving a hopeful signal to Hoyt Smith. Murphy Jr. still behind Smith as they head into turns 3 and 4. Baldwin now once again looking to the high side past Chris Ostrander in that Richard Petty throwback paint scheme car. Take a look at that, folks. Right there, Chris Ostrander. That Florida driver in 11th position currently tonight started 20th on the grid, moved up 9 positions so far in the first 22 laps. And Baldwin still trying to work his way on the outside. Looks to the outside of Joshua Clark. Here he comes out of turn number 2. Some side draft yet again off that 028 car and tries to work it away toward the front. But folks, if you don't have a draft partner out there on these super speedway tracks, you're not going to go anywhere anytime soon but backwards. And it looks like we have a taker right back there, the number 10 of Chris Collier Jr. Now in 12th positions, get some side draft off of Chris Ostrander as they come across that start-finish line. Lap number 24 underway. Collier to the outside, the 38 of Philip Neese. Pushing way high in turn number 1. To the outside of the 95 of Rob Haynes out of turn number 2. The 23 of McMahon begins to push the 38 of Neese back there in 14th position. The 87 of Craig Embry looking to make his way towards the front. Was involved in the first caution of the night on lap number 1 out of turn number 2 in the backstretch. Just a little bit of a tag and got some cars turned around. As we now see in 9th position the battle for 8th as Brent Nichols has that Fork Children's Dream Racer car to the outside of Dalton Baldwin. I tell you what, you got to give the kids some props with heart here. Really trying to work that outside groove. And it looks like somebody's going to bite. That is Burrell, the 78 car, now to the outside of Stuart Joyce. They hook up, start some bump draft, and working their way up. Oh, and Baldwin looked like he was going to leave Burrell there as he came down right in front of the 72 of Nichols. Nichols is going to close the gap. Now it's all or nothing into turn number 3 here on lap 25. Into the front stretch now they go to the outside of the 55. Baldwin and Burrell still trying to make their way towards the front. Outside of Truszynski and heading towards Bernie's in turns 1 and 2. Finally has a partner working with him. Baldwin, a wheel and modified tour out there in the real world. He's a tour driver, loves those open wheel cars, and possibly that's why he likes that high line. And take a look at this. A big shift, that outside line. Everybody's going to switch to the outside line. A.J. Bernie's to the inside line is going to try to hold it down. He's going to come up to Hoyt Smith's bumper here. out of turn number 4 now. Glenn Murphy Jr. goes up to the high line. Here comes Burrell and Baldwin. Trzynski's going to be to the outside, just back off the pace of A.J. Bernies. Side by side, Smith and Baldwin into turn 1. And in turn 2, you see the 48 of Murphy Jr. to the inside of the 78 of Burrell. Lap traffic. Oh, to the outside, everybody ducking down. Looks like that's going to be the 00 of Scott Tucker. So Burrell still continues to work the outside line. Baldwin pushing to the high side in turn number 4. Had some nice momentum there up around the top 5. But that lower line yet again finds the momentum across that start-finish line. Trzynski to the outside of the 72 of Nichols as they head into turn number 1 here on lap number 28. Baldwin hooks back up with Burrell. They're going to start to push forward. As they head into turn number 3, again, here's your top 5. Murphy Jr., Hoyt Smith, Bernies, Burrell, and Joseph Green. Still watching this outside group, trying to get something going here in the lap number 29. As Burrell's to the outside of Stuart Joyce, a little Ford Chevy battle for you. Trzynski wants to come down. Ostrander closes the gap. Oh, we got some lap traffic ahead. Oh, that 58 car's looking off the pace. That is Jonathan Schwartz. As we follow, Schwartz has to go up high, almost causing an incident there. Murphy Jr. still at the race lead, has Hoyt Smith to the outside. A little reverse roll play here into the front stretch. As now Baldwin nearly takes it 3 wide. We got a stagger 3 wide across that start-finish line. Baldwin's going to get crushed by the outside free air as he comes back down into the middle groove, right behind Eric Burrell. Side by side with the 55 of Joseph Green, the top 6 drivers. As you see, Stuart Joyce just a little bit off the pace, but the top 5 here. To the inside, and you see Dalton Baldwin starting to lose just a little bit. He needs to catch some more side draft yet again off that 55 car. Murphy Jr. all by his lonesome out to the race lead here on lap 30 into the front stretch. Towards lap 31, A.J. Bernies right there behind him. And Hoyt Smith to the outside in 4th position, just ahead of Eric Burrell. Taking a look on back past 5th position. It looks like Kevin Trzynski battling Joshua Clark for that 8th position slot. Clark has it in the lower groove. And things are starting to look pretty dicey. A lot of swaying there on that outside line as they come out of turn number 4. And Mike Springer, oh, he's going to run the apron. Thought he was going to go down pit road. No, Mike Springer actually decides to stay down on the apron into the tri-oval. Scary moment there. And it looks like some cars are starting to form on the outside line. Let's try to see if it'll get going again as the bump from Hoyt Smith to Dalton Baldwin to get this train moving. Into turn number 3, Dalton Baldwin rallying back. Now finds himself to the outside of Glenn Murphy Jr. It's going to be a side-by-side battle here out of turn number 4. And I think that high side's going to have some momentum. Will Baldwin get his first lap lead of the night? Just out by a nose. Look at that battle across the start-finish line. And yes, ladies and gentlemen, Dalton Baldwin is going to be credited with the lap lead here. Just to the outside, barely by a nose. We'll call it the splitter. Glenn Murphy Jr., though, rallies back to the race lead. A.J. Bernies to the inside of Hoyt Smith. Joseph Green to the inside of Eric Burrell. Joyce to the inside of Trzynski. Joshua Clark just outside the top 8. Back there in 9th, the 72 and 73 find themselves together. As that is Brent Nichols to the outside of Chris Ostrander. And once again, a nice side-by-side battle up front. And this time, Dalton Baldwin is going to have another lap lead credited to it. These warmer temperatures making it more difficult for big-time passing scenarios here at Daytona. But somehow, some way, these guys are working that outside groove, making it work just enough. Especially out of turn number 4, a lot of momentum on that outside line. Murphy Jr. to the inside. Here comes that outside line yet again to rally back. Baldwin and Smith. Some of the other guys, we're going to jump back to 20th position. Take a look at some side-by-side battle here. As we see the 14 car, John Ollis, running the Tony Stewart Haas paint scheme car. Number in all. He is to the inside of Steve Wilson. Jason Ashby back there in the number 5 car to the inside of Randy Arms. Randy Arms running up in the top 10 early on in this race, currently running 23rd position. At 76 car. James Duke, we've seen that car. That was the car that got in lap number 12, turned by Dalton Baldwin. Just a not intentional turn, a little bump as they were trying to work that outside groove. And the 76 car now has a deficit to work back from as he's running to the inside. Looks like the 16 car. That is Lance Carpenter running the Pepsi Paint Scheme Chevrolet. Falling a little bit off the pace here as the side-by-side drafting is killing them here. Need to form up and get working together in the same groove. Try to catch back up with that pack. Shaquille Ray, 29th position. That's your pole sitter here tonight. The Carolina driver having some issues on his car. As the 85 machine works its way through turn number 4 towards the front stretch. And in the backstretch towards turn number 3, Glenn Murphy Jr. holds down the lead. Baldwin behind him now. To the outside, Hoyt Smith. And Burrell trying to hold it down as Bernie's to the inside and Green to the inside. Find themselves. Oh, and Joseph Green is going to tag Eric Burrell. Stuart Joyce, Kevin Trzynski is going to capitalize on this. They're going to go by to the outside. Joyce comes down. Oh, he's going to thread the needle. Was looking to the inside of Burrell, but Burrell comes down. Trzynski still to the outside in turns 1 and 2. That Fago car trying to work its way out of turn number 2. You can see the nice Chevrolet emblem. Is he going to come down? He thinks he's got the clear, and Joseph Green's going to close the gap before Trzynski can get down. Here comes Joshua Clark right there behind Green. And now the 87 of Embry still slowly but surely making his way up. Now finds himself in the top 10 at 10th position to the inside of Kevin Trzynski. So Embry will take over 9th. Ostrander and McMahon side by side, a little door slam action. Out of the front stretch into turn number 1. McMahon's going to push way high. 72 of Brent Nichols behind him, trying to work that outside line is Vern Bradley to the inside behind Chris Ostrander. Good side-by-side action here as now David McMahon and Brent Nichols begin to move forward. Chris Ostrander losing out on the pace due to the side draft. McMahon looks like he wants to come down to the inside. He's going to get it. That Dr. Pepper Toyota Camry makes its way down to the low groove And the Illinois driver settles up in 11th position here on lap number 40. Talking about a guy who's not settling up yet, the 72 of Brent Nichols, the Canadian driver, to the outside of the number 10 car of David Coyer Jr. Will come down behind, hopefully here in 13th position. Get picked up by Rob Haynes, another Canadian driver. You see how quick you could fall out of that top 10 to the top 15, folks, if you don't have a draft partner out there on that outside line. Back to the race lead, as now Glenn Murphy Jr. has a total of 13 laps led on the night as he works his way here on lap 41 to the inside of turns 1 and 2 with Dalton Baldwin behind him. Looks like everybody has settled up into a single file line. Keep in mind, the last yellow flag to come out was on lap number 11, heading into lap number 12. So a lot of these drivers, if we continue under the green flag, should start to make a pit stop here in the next about 5 to 10 laps. And talking about pits, that number 5 car has got into the pits. That is Jason Ashby. And a little separation now here on the top 10. As it looks like Joshua Clark currently in 8th position down pit road. Kevin Trzynski. So imagine we're going to see our leaders make their way down pit road. Conheady and Arms working together in turn number 3. There's Dylan Landry, Ryan Cobb, bump drafting together. They're going to be passed on the outside coming out of turn number 4. And let's see if Glenn Murphy Jr. is going to signal pits. Baldwin's going to stay on the track. So Glenn Murphy Jr. now looks to come down pit road for his green flag pit stop here into lap 45. Hoyt Smith as well will be up into the pit box, the second one there. And it looks like it's only going to be 2 tires for Glenn Murphy Jr. The 2 inside tires get changed. A little bit of splash and go, and back off of pit road they make it. See if Dalton Baldwin still stays out on the track in the high line. And a little bit of reverse action here as Ryan Cobb, Dylan Landry, everybody's passing. Some issues right there on the 4 car. He is slowing up hard. Hopefully he's not run out of fuel. He is slowing way down off the pace. And this is not where you want to be running slow here into the backstretch, heading into turn number 3. See if we can go down on board and capture some engine sounds. Possibly running low on fuel. Take a look at that digital display board, folks. Sounds like he is running on fumes at this point. Little pop and crackling out of that engine. iRacing implemented the new digital display board that NASCAR pretty much made mandatory for the 2016 season. A lot of the drivers had to make an adjustment. And he is slowing down right here, folks. Can he make it to pit road? Not looking like it's going to happen as the number 4 Toyota Camry out of fuel there, out of turn number 4. He's going to need a tow back to pit road. And Glenn Murphy Jr. making his way with Hoyt Smith behind him, still at the helm of the field. 16 total laps led here tonight. Into lap number 47 they go now. Here is what your top 5 looks like after the green flag pit action has happened. Those Murphy Jr., Hoyt Smith, Rob Haynes, Craig Embry in the top 4, Dylan Landry in the top 5. Having the right pitting strategy, folks, can propel you up at these super speedway tracks. And a guy that got involved early on right there, Craig Embry. Now finds himself in the top 5 coming out of turn number 4. Guy right behind him, the 85 of Shaquille Ray, your pole sitter here tonight. Currently in the lucky dog slot, back in 24th position. Pending any cautions, you will receive a wave around, get back on the lead lap. So there's your top 3. Murphy Jr., Hoyt Smith, Rob Haynes, Craig Embry we see there. Then we'll take a jump back to 5th position with Dylan Landry. And company behind him, the 51 of Ryan Cobb in 6th. See Joseph Green, the 55 car, right there in 7th. And Burrell, Joyce, McMahon, and Vern Bradley, who's in the mix. I believe Vern Bradley he's one lap down back in 25th position, but he kind of mixes things up. As Collier Jr. ahead of Philip Neese will round out top 12. And as they cross over into lap number 50, folks, we are going to take a short commercial break. Things get worked out.
Caution is out.
Tell you what, before we're going to go take a short commercial break, and looks like we'll get one out of spite. Not really seeing anybody. Looked like Randy Arms here was moving a little slow. Let's go back and take a look. So Randy Arms back it up just a little bit further. Number 8 car having some issues. We'll see what happened. Right behind Chris Ostrander. And it looks like he's just going to get a little bit loose coming out of turn number 4. A nice little save. He'll be on the track just enough when some cars arrive to have the caution flag come out for the 3rd time here tonight. So we were going to go to commercial break. Let's do so in fashion, as the number 8 Wrangler Chevrolet of Randy Arms bringing out the 3rd caution flag tonight. Don't go anywhere, folks. We still got more race to come your way.
How much longer do you want to wait for Dave to talk about this dart release?
Why? What's he doing?
I'm pretty sure he's playing Pokemon again.
Again?
Yes, again.
pressure off the pace car. Welcome back to Daytona, folks, here for the Children's Dream Racer Cup Series. Season opener race here at Daytona International Speedway. Glenn Murphy Jr., Hoyt Smith will be up front as the pace car will be set to go into the pits, this time by Matt Green on lap number 55. Pace car towards the tri-oval. Will make its way down pit road. And there it goes.
Green flag.
Here they come. We are back to the race on lap 55. Glenn Murphy Jr. with crossing the start-finish line. A total of 26 laps led here in the season opener race. Now finds the 22 quicker picker rubber Bally machine. That is Stuart Joyce. Right there behind him, that Ford Fusion, a little Ford Chevy battle up front. Hoyt Smith throwing in the third manufacturer, the 92 in the Toyota Camry. Carolina driver here tonight started to the outside of that first row, currently running in third. He has a total of 10 laps led here tonight. And it looks like Collier Jr. back in 10 car to the outside of Green, and they're going to door slam it a little bit. Philip Neese going to swing high, and Green is going to get loose. He's going to run the apron left. Nice timing if you have to go below the yellow. That's where you need to do it, and unfortunately, wow, that's going to send him back quick. All the way to 24th position. Tough break there for the 55 of Joseph Green. Murphy Jr. now into turns 3 and 4 here on lap 57. Hoyt Smith back there in third behind Joyce. Ostrander being pushed by Duke, as now Duke. Take a look at that, back from the depths of the field here tonight. The 76 car was turned in lap number 11. In turn number 4, has now found his way back up into the top 5 in the later half of this race. Through the back stretch towards turn number 3, Duke on the bumper of Ostrander. Checks up just a little bit. Here comes Collier Jr. Philip Neese, Haynes. And it looks like David Collier Jr. is going to go to the outside. Philip Neese is going to follow. 95 of Haynes, 23 of McMahon to the inside now. And the 51 of Ryan Cobb. Dylan Landry, these two have been working together all night. Find themselves just outside the top 10. Landry anyways, Cobb in 10th position. Trying to shut the door on Neese here. He's going to do it. Landry has to get a little momentum here to shut the door on Neese. Hanging these guys on the outside line, and now the 38 of Philip Neese is going to go back as A.J. Bernice. And it looks like the 72 car is going to pass on the inside as well. That's Brent Nichols. Craig Embry back in 14th position. Struggled to get back up into the top 5 after the lap 2 incident. Into turn number 2, Glenn Murphy Jr. with a nice sizable lead. Starting to pull away with Stuart Joyce behind him. Hoyt Smith trying to rally that Toyota back. And take a look at Collier Jr. here. Taking some lessons right out of the Baldwin playbook here out of turn number 4. And take a look at that. Dalton Baldwin back. Now behind Philip Neese. Baldwin currently in the Lucky Dog slot back there in 25th position after running out of fuel. Oh, wow. We got, some scary moments. Nichols is going to check up. Conheady right there behind Trzynski. Oh, that was a scary moment there. Right in turns 1 and 2. Conheady with a little bit of winking action in the backstretch towards turn number 3. Just to the outside of Dylan Landry is Baldwin behind Landry, who's behind Cobb. And that outside line, amazingly, is getting a lot of momentum here out of turn number 4. As Randy Arms, another driver here tonight, actually brought out the last caution. See the rear end damage there on his car. Collier Jr. now looks to be trying to get up behind the 95 of Haynes. Haynes to the outside of Smith. Ostrander to the inside of Collier Jr. And Philip Neese, David, man, a little scary moment there in the turn. Conheady still to the outside of Trzynski as they come out of turn number 4. Heading into lap number 63, and take a look at that. Wow! From 5th to 1st. Beautiful move to the inside, and Collier Jr. Boy, that looked like a Dale Sr. move if I ever seen one myself. Right through the middle. 3-wide action, and boy, did he just rocket that car up to the front. Murphy Jr., I think that one surprised him there to the outside. And now it looks like Haynes to the outside, Philip Neese behind him. Little Ford Chevy battle there between Neese and Collier Jr. And it looks like the 95 of Haynes will take over the race lead. Philip Neese now to the outside as they come across that start-finish line into lap number 64. Still, what a beautiful move. David Collier Jr. just with from 5th to 1st, just like that. That is unbelievable. Conheady now in the mix. Not really a position battle with this guy. He's currently in 25th position. So Conheady's in the lucky dog position. Baldwin back off in 26th position, though he's behind Philip Neese and Stuart Joyce, and boy, is Conheady having some connection issues. Murphy Jr. still in 3rd position. A little side-by-side action between Neese and Joyce. Baldwin behind Neese into the backstretch. Shaquille Ray has come back from the depths as well. Your pole sitter here tonight, currently sitting 7th. He's looking to the outside of Hoyt Smith in the battle for 6th. Nice side-by-side action here into the front stretch into lap number 66. A little bit of lap traffic mixed in with the bunch always makes things interesting. And take a look at this. Haynes still running that lower groove. Collier Jr. now has Neese giving a little bit of bump action. In turn number 2, Baldwin now under the back of Neese. We got a 3-on-3 battle. In the backstretch, Baldwin's going to fall off the pace just a little bit as he's going to hit some of that open air in that 3rd line. Collier Jr. to the outside of Haynes. And now Murphy Jr. The battle of the juniors, and it looks like the lower crew's going to win here through turn number 4. Let's see if the 10 car can rally it back. He'll be to the outside of Conheady, your lucky dog right there. Nationwide Insurance Chevrolet. And Collier Jr. falls back to 4th. Still in 3rd position. And it looks like he's going to battle it up here with Stuart Joyce for that 3rd position slot. Conheady again, folks. Lucky Dog, lap traffic, gets in that high line now as the high line moves past Rob Haynes, and Glenn Murphy Jr. takes back over the race lead. Conheady looked like he was going to give way for Collier Jr. to come down in second. Collier didn't have the clear signal from his spotter, so they'll continue to work it up. He's going to try to shoot the gap here. In the front stretch across that start-finish line, lap 68. Oh, and some slow contact there across into the front stretch towards turn number 1. And these guys are running close. Some contact between Nice and Collier Jr. Baldwin looking to the high side. Looks like he's going to try to, looked like he wanted to get a run there on Philip Nice. Philip Nice still having some contact with the 10 car. In turns number 4 now. Towards the front stretch they come. Well, that outside line finds some momentum. Here they come across that start-finish line. Collier looks to come down. Does not have the clear signal. As the 95 of Rob Haynes to the inside of Philip Nice is going to close the door. Baldwin finds himself to the outside of the 92 car. That is Hoyt Smith. Smith again with a total of 10 laps led here tonight. Collier Jr. and Hoyt Smith battling side by side. Oh, and Smith goes below the yellow with a little bit of push. Joseph Green, the lap traffic up there in the third line. Let's see how these boys react heading into 1 and 2. Everybody's going to get by easy. Again, testament to the great work done by race control here for the Anarchy Motorsports Series. Lap traffic being off the pace can be a scary thing, and these guys are handling it with ease. Collier Jr. now to the outside of Haynes as they come out of turn number 4. Philip Nice providing the bump drive support. And outside line starting to make some momentum. Here comes Collier Jr. to the outside of Glenn Murphy Jr. across the start-finish line. Still in third. He's at door level. Conheady Jr. back on the lead lap by demand as he's just outside of the heavy race leader here, Glenn Murphy Jr. And now Collier Jr., Glenn Murphy Jr. The battle of the juniors out of turn number 2 for that lead position slot. Haynes just a little bit of gap between him and Murphy Jr. I think we need to get a counter in the bottom left hand of the screen of how many times I'm going to say junior as these two continue to battle it out. And turn number 4, here comes Collier Jr. And Stuart Joyce demanding going down pit road as his crew was calling him in. Side-by-side action into turn number 1, lap 72, folks. Philip Nice still behind that 10 car as they work their way around. And Collier now looks to take over the race lead just outside of Conheady. Conheady goes back to 1 lap down. Baldwin's going to have to battle with Conheady in case of a caution and be able to get that wave around. He's right there behind Nice. So not only do we have a lead battle here, we also have a lucky dog battle. Shaquille Ray peels off to go down pit road. Philip Nice done a lot of practice in the offseason between the Wounded Warrior Project and the Children's Dream Racer Series, and it's showing here tonight in that 38 car. Working really hard. Conheady with some blink action. Murphy Jr. looks to be back off the pace just a little bit. Behind Dalton Baldwin. Here's some more lap traffic. A.J. Burney's now to the outside. Philip Nice falls off the pace between Thomas Conheady. Is he going to come down in that lower groove, or is he going to stay out there with Baldwin? Conheady comes up to the middle groove. Oh, Conheady's going to go wide. I think there was some communication. Down goes Glenn Murphy Jr. Boy, he's really slowing up those tires. So Murphy Jr. comes down pit road with Hoyt Smith. Pending any cautions, this should be the last pit stop of the night. So David Collier Jr., total of 3 laps led now. Still out on the field with Dalton Baldwin to the outside of Conheady. So Baldwin now is your lucky dog as the number 10 car takes over the race lead. Joshua Clark back in 4th position. Just a little bit off that pace of the front 5 guys that you see there. At 0:28, Virginia driver Mike Springer comes onto the track, and the 0:28 will have to go around him on the high side. So let's see if Collier decides to make a green flag pit stop here with Philip Neese. They've been working together. 10 car looks like he's going to flirt with that yellow line, but he's not going to come down this time by. So they are going to stay out and run it out. Murphy Jr. had to get down pit road, so he's going to be on older tires. This is where pit strategy comes into play, folks. Finding that right strategy that not only will give you the freshest set of tires, enough fuel in the tank, but also the best position when that checkered flag falls. So Murphy Jr. back in 9th position. Craig Embry hooked up with him in 10th. There's the 46 of Danny Bowman Jr., one of the guys, heavy hitters in the Wounded Warrior Project Cup Series, running that Ricky Bobby tribute paint scheme, as Randy Arms and Hoyt Smith. So these 5 drivers from 9th to 13th working together here, trying to form a draft train and get back up. Collier Jr., though, looks to put him a lap down this time by, as this 6-pack of cars into the backstretch. Philip Neese still behind that 10 car. Everybody around them are lap traffic, and the inside lane is blocked, so they're going to have to continue to go around. Not really sure what the fuel window's looking like. Philip Neese still to the high side. David McMahon and Rob Haynes. Things looking a little messed up in the order as these guys have yet to make their final green flag stop. That 10 car is still running around. He's still going to go around on that high side. Haynes back in 3rd position. Right there behind McMahon. So they come down to the lower groove here on lap 79. Will they signal for pit this time? By here comes Collier Jr. And Neese still going to stay out into lap number 80. I think these boys are going to take it as far as they can, folks. Steve Wilson, Eric Burrell. 02 of Wilson, the 78 of Burrell. Back there in 4th and 5th, Ashby, the number 5 car, in 6th. Murphy Jr., this is your 7th driver with Embry. Bowman Jr., Arms, Hoyt Smith, This is predominantly the rest of the field. So the key is, and here it comes. This is what we were waiting to see. Finally, making that last green flag pit stop, your race leader, Collier Jr. And it looks like Rob Haynes, Philip Neese as well. Oh, and he spins! A little bit of antsiness from the 10 car. He spins out. Burning a little more tread off the tires than what he may have wanted. How will that play out? As they now begin to make their way back out on the track here on lap 81. Oh, and it looks like we got some incidents, folks. Some cars are falling back quick. Burrell had to go down to the apron. A little bit of contact action. So Murphy Jr. coming in a hurry. Looks to take back over the race lead. He's got a lot of momentum behind him. So there's Murphy Jr. And there's Collier. Oh, and they're going to go around him on the high side. Everybody, the 92 of Hoyt Smith. Everybody wanted to get around that traffic. So Collier, after his pit stop, 3 wide action across the start and finish line. Landry to the inside of Trzynski. And they still continue to battle out 3 wide as Randy Arms to the high side. Final pit stop, there's Vern Bradley. Lance Carpenter down on the apron. 4 wide nearly action coming out of turn 2. And Landry got propelled, and we still got 3 wide action as Shaquille Ray to the inside of Trzynski. Ryan Cobb now, big checkup. Big checkup, and Collier Jr. is going to turn. Oh my goodness, we got a big incident.
All right, man, caution is out.
And
Caution
Chris Ostrander, oh my goodness, what a major incident. And they're still going at it down there. On the apron, Big Mike Tant involved. Ladies and gentlemen, and that may be all she wrote for that 10 car. Go back and take a look, and we're going to follow what seemed to be like a rallying effort in a very, very secured position to win here tonight for the 10 car of David Collier Jr. May have just been pulled away. So take a look at the 3 wide action. This is unbelievable. In the backstretch, Rob Haynes, the 95, Hoyt Smith, the 92. Into turn 3, you're going to see a major checkup here, folks. And by checkup, see the 92 of Smith is going to touch the apron, which gets him slowed up. And it looks like Haynes is going to slow up too, and you're going to see a big bump action. Collier Jr. right to the bumper of the 95. So we bring you down just a little bit closer. And it looks like the 95 is going to save it. Some traction snap there from the 10 of Collier Jr. He's going to slide up to the track. Tries to save it, makes contact with the wall, comes back down, and here's where Stuart Joyce gets picked up. A little bit of contact there. He's going to go right up into the wall, back down in. Haynes is going to be spun out. Collier Jr. is going to go still spinning. It's the waltz of the Matilda here, folks. Everybody's doing a little bit of spinning action here in turn 3. But check this out. Collier Jr. is going to slide up the track. I think he was anticipating trying to bring out a caution flag at this point, or just trying to get the car under control. Chris Ostrander from the high side right there by James Duke. T-bone head-on collision. Take a look at that. Head-on collision. Lance Carpenter behind Ostrander, but a big contact. Head-on collision at full speed from the 73 of Chris Ostrander. Right there with David Collier Jr. and that 10 car. Take a look at the damage between the two of them. Unbelievable. Carpenter up on the track at the wrong direction, throwing that car in reverse, trying to get off in time. Vern Bradley in the mix, just had got off of pit road after his final green flag. He's got some smoke. Carpenter's going to come down, and it looks like he's going to slow up and bump the 10 car. Big Mike Tant involved as well. The number 50 machine you see there amidst the smoke will spin out. And the 73 and the number 10 car, unbelievable. Head-on collision, folks. Here's your race summary. Glenn Murphy Jr. will be back at the race lead. 17 lead changes here tonight. In the 83 laps completed, 4 total cautions so far. We still got to finish this bugger out tonight. Tough break for that guy right there. Looking so great, had a beautiful pass. But folks, this is the Children's Dream Racer Cup Series opener race here at Daytona this Tuesday night. We're going to take a short commercial break. We'll be back. Welcome back to Daytona this Tuesday night, folks. A lot of drama already unfolding early on in the Children's Dream Racer Cup Series. What looked to be a hopeful night and possibly first victory for the number 10 of David Collier Jr. got ended right in turn number 3 with a big checkup action between White Smith and Rob Haynes, which ultimately led that 10 car to get head-on collision with the number 73 of Chris Ostrander. Pace car leads us down the backstretch into turn number 3 with that green on lap number 87. Towards the front stretch they come. Pace car set to go into the pits this time by. It's going to be Murphy Jr. Embry up front. There goes the pace car.
Green flag,
The
green
green
flag.
flag flies. Lap number 87 underway. the start-finish line. Danny Bowman Jr., again, talking about him last season in the Wounded Warrior Project Cup Series. Very heavy hitter, a lot of top 5 finishes. And tonight, he wants to go fast, and fast he is going up to the front. Gets his first lap led of the night. Has the 38 of Philip Neese back behind him, who's been in the top 5 for the last 40 laps. Shaquille Ray up in the mix in the top 5. Your pole sitter here tonight looks to make an impact early on in that Pokemon Go Ford Fusion, who's to the inside. Looks like of Dylan Landry, who's now outside of Philip Neese. Oh, and some contact between Neese coming down into the lower groove. Got the 46 car loose, and Bowman Jr. is able to hold on to it and battle Landry for the lead here into lap number 89. Glenn Murphy Jr. still to the outside in 4th position, to the outside of the 85 of Shaquille Ray. Ryan Cobb to the inside of Craig Embry. Trzynski to the inside of Arms in the 92 car. As new guy this year, Hoyt Smith, back there in 10th position. Into the front stretch towards lap number 90. Here comes Bowman Jr. and Landry. Landry to the outside is going to be a nose-to-nose. And it looks like Bowman Jr. was able to hold off Landry that time around. He'll have 2 laps led so far. Excuse me, 3 laps led so far. Murphy Jr. now to the outside of Bowman Jr. A lot of juniors in this league, folks. Sons of great racers. And now Landry settles up in front of the 46 of Bowman Jr. as they head into turn number 3. Glenn Murphy to the outside. Here comes Craig Embry to the inside. Shaquille Ray. Randy Arms looks to pick up that 48 car as they make their way into the front stretch. As they cross that start-finish line, 10 laps to go here in the season opener. Embry looked to push up to the middle groove, will not be able to do so. As Glenn Murphy Jr., Randy Arms are on their way up into turn number 1. Into the backstretch now, Glenn Murphy Jr. to the outside of Philip Neese, who's behind Danny Bowman Jr. Dylan Landry at the race leads somehow, some way, finds his way to the front in the later parts of the race. Take a look at that. Started 7th here tonight. He's been as deep as the 20s in the lineup. Has rallied his way back, and this 86 car, Under Armour sponsored, picks up his 2nd lap led of the night. Here is what your top 5 looks like as they head into turns 1 and 2. It's Landry, Bowman Jr., Neese, Embry, and Murphy Jr. Summary statistics on it. We're at 19 lead changes tonight, 4 total cautions out of the 91 laps completed. And again, folks, 38 cars starting this field here tonight. 31 remaining. Out of the 4 cautions, claiming 7 cars. A little bit of sway action as they make their way into the tri-oval. 8 laps now to go. Can that 86 car hold on to that lead? Bowman Jr. hungry to make a nice last lap pass. If I can get my tongue twisters correct, the 87 of Craig Embry back there in 4th position in front of Hoyt Smith. Talk about rally situations here at Daytona. This 87 car involved on a first lap incident. Bowman Jr. now looks to take Landry to the outside. Here comes Murphy Jr. He's going to pick up some positions in a hurry. Comes up the bump draft to 46 of Bowman Jr. 2 juniors making it right here on the outside line as they're going to pick up some side draft into the front stretch. That lower groove, Philip Neese giving up for this 38 car here tonight, being a great draft partner to many different leaders. Been running that number 2 slot here for a minute. Shaquille Ray now to the inside of Bowman Jr. behind Hoyt Smith. Hoyt Smith looked like he wanted to come up. Was not quite clear of the Embry's bumper. Had to do a little checkup action, but he's back at it there in 4th. Ray now looks like he wants to come up in the middle line. Bowman Jr. pushed high. Bowman Jr. and Murphy Jr. side by side as Landry comes across to make it 6 laps to go. Rob Haynes, the black traffic up ahead. Tough break for that car. He was up in the top 10 majority of the night. Hoyt Smith now finds Ray to the outside as Ryan Cobb and Ray look to hook it up into turn number 3 and start some draft. They'll have to settle up in that lower groove if they want to maintain pace, and they come down. Hoyt Smith looks like he wants to work that outside line. Ray's going to take him on the outside. Side draft off of Smith. Ray moves side by side across the front stretch. 5 laps to go in tonight's race. Dylan Landry, 6 total laps led, now has the 38 of Philip Neese just off behind him. Some spacing between these top 5 drivers. Shaquille Ray can't come down. Cobb's to the inside. Cobb's going to leave that 85 car out hanging up in the middle groove. Ray will have to come back down behind Cobb here before turn number 3 does so, settles up in that middle line. Here comes Dylan Landry. Turns 3 and 4. This is the money lap. If a caution flag comes out, he will have victory in this season opener. Ladies and gentlemen, if you can, rub a rabbit's foot. Knock on some wood. We want this thing to finish on a good note. Under green with a good hard battle to the checker. 4 laps now remain here at Daytona as Philip Neese still behind that 86 car as they work their way in turns 1 and 2. 87 of Craig Embry now in 3rd. Hoyt Smith in 4th as they come out into the backstretch. Looks like Shaquille Ray, Ryan Cobb trying to provide a little bump draft to catch these top 4 drivers. Murphy Jr. back in 7th position, just ahead of the number 8, Randy Arms, and Philip Neese may have blown his engine. Oh, that is a tough break. The 38 car blows his engine just with the under 4 laps to go. Now they got 3, and this is where it's go time. See the drivers, the aggression amongst the drivers. Embry's really on the bumper. Shaquille Ray starts to work that outside. Hoyt Smith starts to work that outside. As Ryan Cobb was coming up, a big checkup as the 38 of Philip Neese looked like he blew his engine right out of turn number 4. Tough break there for that car. Unbelievable. After the night he has had here, folks, a very sad conclusion for that driver. Landry now looks to make his way out of turn number 4. It'll be 2 laps to go. The next time he sees this start-finish line, it's going to be a white flag. Hoyt Smith falling back off the pace now to the outside of Glenn Murphy Jr. as the battle for 5th into turn number 1 between the 2 drivers. Ray in the top 4. Here they go. And it looks like Neese was getting a nice repair action done. He's on the apron, so he'll salvage what he can out of this race. Cobb back there behind Embry in the backstretch. Landry. This is where it's going to heat up. You're going to see some moves. You're going to see some aggression here, folks. As they come out of turn number 4, you're going to see some moves made in the front stretch. They are coming to the white flag lap here of the first race. Cobb to the outside. Behind Hoyt Smith behind Cobb. Here they come. Ladies and gentlemen, the white flag's in the air here at Daytona. 1 more lap to go. Cautions are off, folks. It is go time. Who is going to take the victory in the season opener? Hoyt Smith pushes high. Little contact with Ray out of turn number 2 into the backstretch. Dylan Landry, I should say, is still at the race lead. Total of 10 laps led. The 87 of Embry is just ahead of Ryan Cobb. Ray now to the inside of Cobb as they come down the backstretch towards turn number 3. Oh, it's going to be a beauty, folks. It's going to be a beauty. This opener race, here we go. Get on your feet. Who is going to take victory as they come out of turn number 4 down the front stretch? Here we go. And it looks like Landry's going to have it. Can he get it? Embry, your top 3. Dylan Landry, Craig Embry, Ryan Cobb, your top 3 here at Daytona in the Children's Dream Racer Cup Series opener. What a beautiful night of racing, folks. What a beautiful night. A lot of drama unfolding early on will make for a great season, folks. If you haven't done so, I'm going to say it now. Hit that subscribe button to tune in. If you like these types of cars, you like this types of race, this league definitely will deliver. And they delivered in great fashion here tonight. Take a look at the final summary statistics as we follow that 86 car on its victory lap. 19 lead changes in the 100 laps here, 4 total cautions. Beautiful night of racing. And there's your victor coming down to the front stretch now. Dylan Landry able to capture a win. Started 7th on the grid. And again, folks, fell back at one point almost to near 20th position. And a celebratory burnout there for that 86 Under Armour Chevrolet. Burns down the remainder of what's left on those tires. Give it up, ladies and gentlemen, for that 86 car. Dylan Landry, the New England driver, taking victory here tonight. What a beautiful night of racing. Again, can't say it enough, folks. If you want to see some great racing action, this is where it's at. We're going to see if we can get some driver interviews for you real quick here. One guy we want to talk to real quick before we talk to the top 3 tonight. We're going to bring David Collier Jr. into the booth to talk a little bit about his night. David, finished probably not on the way you wanted it to happen, but you had a great night of racing here. Tell us a little bit about your thoughts on tonight.
All in all, it was pretty good, I guess. It's just typical Daytona. You never know how it's going to turn out, and it didn't turn out very well, but on to the next one.
Talking about one thing we have to talk about, one of the highlights of tonight's race, and I just want to bring to the attention of the audience, if they didn't have a chance to capture it live, that beautiful from 5th to 1st pass. Coming across that start-finish line, you were in the lower groove, you just shot it 3 wide, and boy, did you just slingshot yourself to the front. Tell us a little bit about the thoughts behind that, because that looked like some good old-school senior, or Earnhardt senior racing there. You were able to find that slipstream and just go for it.
Yeah, I got a pretty good run off of 2, and I don't know, everybody sort of checked up a little bit there, and I knew I had a guy to the outside of me, but I knew I had plenty of room to jump up there. I didn't know how far up I could get. You could get a run up around the middle there, but you really couldn't pass anybody, or I couldn't figure out how to anyway, but it just worked out pretty good there.
Well, you're able to get 9 laps total led here tonight. You finish, I believe tonight you're going to finish, as we take a look, back in 26th position, but we got a good season. Nice season ahead, a 22-race season, so plenty of time to get it all back. Is there any additional thanks or shout-outs you want to give tonight?
I just thank everybody for putting this deal on. This is my first time running over here, and it was pretty fun. All in all, a good show. Shout out to my buddy Philip Neese. He's the one that told me about all this, and had a lot of fun hanging out with him and running tonight.
All right, well, we'll look forward to seeing you next week. Shouldn't say congratulations, but got to just say, man, that was one of the greatest passes I've had a beauty to witness myself. So I just want to say good racing here tonight, and we'll see you next week.
Thanks a lot. See you then.
We're going to get a quick interview here with the 38 car, one of the guys who provided some great draft support tonight. For a lot of the guys up front, Philip, tonight, probably not where you wanted to have happen with about less than 4 laps to go. Looked like was it the final ruling? Did you end up blowing your engine there out of turn 4?
Yeah, that's what it was, Dustin. We were busy drafting there, and I noticed still flashing red, but it was so close to the end. I said, well, I'm going to try it, but it didn't work out. Blew it up.
Definitely a lot of practice in that offseason. You're looking like you're going to be a heavy hitter here in the Children's Dream Racer Cup Series. Look forward to great things out of that 38 car to come. Is there any shout-outs you want to give before we let you go?
Yeah, shout out to all the guys at AMS for putting this show on. For you, Dustin, and Digital Forge Broadcasting, we appreciate what all you do for us. And Fastfield Motorsports, Hazard Auto, Lisa, all the kids, love y'all. And we'll see you next week.
All right. Well, fortunately, I keep wanting to say congratulations. Force a habit here, folks. But Philip, good job racing tonight, and we'll look forward to seeing you next week.
Thank you, Dustin.
With that being said, folks, we're going to show you the top 10 here. As Ryan Cobb, we're going to try to get an interview here with him real quick. And Craig Embry, one of the drivers tonight early on. See if we can get Ryan Cobb here. Ryan Cobb now joins me in the booth, the number 51 car here tonight. Really good night of racing, Ryan. You end up finishing third. Nail biter down to the end with you guys up there up front. You're able to work your way. What seemed to be very detrimental in a pit strategy, trying to get back through, but it comes through in great fashion. You finish in the third spot, podium finish here at Daytona in this series opener. Tell us a little bit about your thoughts on tonight's race.
Yeah, thanks so much. It's really tough in these super speeder races to have, not only your strategy and stick to it, but just stay out of the big mess. And thankfully, it was actually a fairly clean race. We had a lot of green flag running tonight, but we had our strategy. We pretty much stuck to it and pitted when we needed to, and avoided the wrecks for the most part. But it was good. It was right down to the end there. It was three of the team cars from All Out Racing up there, just trying to battle and race clean, and. Wish could have come up with the win, but happy for Dylan, and move on to the next one with some good points heading out of the first race here.
All right, we'll look forward to more to come out of this season. Any additional thanks or shout-outs?
Yeah, just a big thanks, a good start to the season here. Thank you and the Digital Forge Broadcast Network, All Out Racing, great equipment. It's going to be a good season. Looking forward to it.
All right, look forward to more out of the 51 car. Ryan, congratulations on your third place finish here at Daytona.
Yeah, thank you so much, Dustin.
As we look to get a guy here tonight talking about rallying back this 87 Chevrolet, Craig Embry, from lap number 1 to lap number 100, Craig. It looked like it was a very big struggle for you here tonight. Ran around the top 15 after that first lap 1 incident where he was spun a little bit and had some damage. But to tell you what, to rally it back and finish in the runner-up slot here at Daytona, you got to be kind of happy with where you finished.
Oh, yeah. It almost feels like a win to get that second place. And I was not even trying to lose that spot there at the end. Like, I could have tried to make a move on Dylan. It probably would have hurt me more than helped me, so I just wanted to get the best finish that I could. Especially, it wasn't easy getting up there. Track position was such a big deal, and it was hard to pass. So I feel bad about what happened to Steven on lap 1. I was just trying to help push him along there. And maybe I was off to the side a little farther than I should have been, and it just hooked both of us. But I feel bad about that, but the rest of our race went pretty good.
Well, we got a long road ahead, a 22-week season coming up as we start the opener here tonight. Big things out of this 87 car are expected here. Craig, is there any thanks or shout-outs you'd like to give for your runner-up finish?
Shout out to the team, Dalton Baldwin Racing. Dalton had some bad luck tonight. Shout out to Milo's, my new sponsor. I'd like to give you a shout-out too, man. You do a good job for us.
All right. Well, congratulations on your runner-up finish. We'll look forward to seeing you next week.
All right. Thank you, man.
And a guy that started 7th on tonight's grid is able to come back. And actually, this 86 car of Dylan Landry finishes in the winning victory lane here at Daytona to open up the Children's Dream Racer Cup Series tonight. Dylan, tell us what was going through your mind there on that final lap, knowing it was going to be a battle to the flag.
It was absolutely nuts. I knew that if Craig was trying to pass me, I had a couple teammates behind me, so he was gonna hurt himself in that. So I think that I had a pretty good shot at it, and it turned out that way.
Definitely a great night of racing, though. Is there any memorable points you'd like to let the viewers know about what you experienced here at Daytona?
Wow. We qualified up front. We went to the back helping out some teammates. Survived some wrecks. Got up to front on some good pit strategies. and was lucky enough to get in front of I can't remember who it was, but I got up in front of the high line there with 10 laps to go or thereabouts, and propelled me to the lead, and I stayed there.
Well, definitely did your Under Armour sponsor proud tonight on that Chevrolet. I think it's Chevrolet. Did I get it wrong? It's a Toyota, right? What do we got?
It's a Chevy.
Okay. All right. I'm sorry. I apologize, folks. That's a broadcasting mishap on my part. But I knew last season you ran a Chevrolet. A lot of guys made a lot of manufacturer changes this year. But, yeah, definitely did the Under Armour sponsor proud tonight. Is there any thanks or shout-outs you'd like to give for your victory here at Daytona?
First of all, I gotta thank you for putting this on. You always do an amazing job. And I gotta thank my teammates, Steve Landry, Ryan Cobb, and Shaquille Ray. And especially Shaquille Ray tonight, because he came back twice from one lap down and came back to a 4th place finish. So big shout outs to him.
All right. Well, we'll look forward to seeing you next week carrying this win into Michigan. So congratulations again tonight, Dylan, and we'll see you.
I'm looking forward to it. Thanks.
Well, there you have it, folks. There's your winner of tonight. We're going to get some final thoughts here from Dalton Baldwin on the sponsor of the series, the Children's Dream Racer Cup Series. If you weren't able to tune in last week to the initial 50-lap shootout that we had here at Daytona, I'm going to bring Dalton in and talk a little bit about it now as he joins me here in the booth. Tough race for you here tonight, Dalton. It looked like you ran out of fuel there coming out of turn number 4. Was that just simple miscalculation there in strategy, or what kind of led to that?
Well, I was kind of playing a close game. I was trying to run the fuel out as far as I could because I was pretty sure we had to calculate that if I went green the whole way, we were going to be close on making it another stop. So I tried to stretch as far as I could, and we got to some guys coming out of pit road, and I saw a hole ahead of some cars that were in front of me, and I tried to carry my momentum by them, and when I got up there, the hole had closed, and I just couldn't get down pit road without causing an accident. And that was really a miscalculation on my part. I should have just kind of checked up and got behind those cars and not tried to pass them. But kind of came back there from a lap down. Got lucky on a caution. I was coming out of the pits, and the caution came out just before the leaders got to me, so that was pretty lucky. But then just couldn't get back up through the pack and ended up overheating the motor trying to push up through there. It's really difficult to push, and the temperatures were kind of hot tonight, so just got the motor hot and blew it up. But we'll go on to Michigan next week. This is just the start of the season.
Well, I know we had a chance last week to talk a little bit about the Children's Dream Race organization, the great things that they do. For the viewers that are tuning in tonight that may see this and did get a chance to see that shout out, could you just recap a little bit about who the Children's Dream Racer organization is, what they do, and your ties as well to them?
The Children's Dream Racer Foundation, it was started and it's still ran by Mark Smith. We call him Smitty. He started it to give kids kind of a brighten up their day when they're in the hospital. And what he started to do was he made kind of little mini, almost go-kart sized replicas of real-life race cars. So in some hospitals, we got replicas of Jimmy Johnson's race car, Dale Jr.'s race car. So it's really cool for the kids to see. It's really diverse, and it attracts their attention. And then what we like to do is just, kids can sit in it. We'll put a little TV monitor in there and a video game system, and they can come in, and when they're getting there, they're waiting for their appointment, or they're waiting, to get any sort of test done, because these kids are in the hospital, they're sick, and they don't want to be there, and they don't always fully understand what's going on and why they even have to be there. So this gives them an opportunity to play some video games, pass the time, brighten their day. It really puts a smile on their face when they're normally, having a bad day and everything. So Mark Smith, he started doing this a few years ago. I want to say it was about 10 years ago, somewhere around there. Hendrick Motorsports has helped us out a lot with it. And he builds them all by hand. It's all with real metal, real tubing, real sheet metal. And it's really cool to see the kids, smile. And what I like about the Children's Dream Racers is you know what you're getting when you put into it. When you advertise for them or you donate to them, you know that you're getting, this is what you're getting out of it. You're getting to put a smile on a kid's face multiple days out of the year. And a lot of people don't like to donate to some foundations because they don't know where the money goes. Mark, I can tell you, I can attest, he does not take any of the money. He gives a little bit to volunteers, but otherwise mostly everyone is volunteer work. He might buy lunch for everybody, but that's usually out of his own pocket. So rarely does any of the money go to any of the people. It's mostly all volunteer work. That's what I really love about the whole thing. But if anyone is ever interested in donating, you can get in contact with me through Facebook. If you're an iRacer, you can get in contact with me on iRacing. You can get in contact with my mom, Michelle Baldwin, through Facebook, LinkedIn, stuff like that, and we'll get you in the right direction to donate.
So it definitely sounds like a great organization, definitely doing some great things to help children ease the stress of being at the hospital. Dalton, I thank you again for joining me in the booth here to talk a little bit about it. It's always nice. We hear from time to time in different series, the sponsors don't really get to know much about the sponsors, especially the good deeds that are done. And what a beautiful way to honor such an organization, to have them named, the series named after them, and to be celebrating their good deeds throughout this season.
Oh yeah, definitely, and I really appreciate you giving me and everyone the time to talk about Children's Dream Racer and get their name out there. And like you said, I sponsored the series, and I just put them on there because they need the exposure way more than calling it the Dawn Ball and Cup Series or something else. So yeah, it's definitely nice to get them that exposure.
Yeah, definitely do, and we'll look forward. We've got a long road ahead in this 22-week season. We'll look forward to some great race action as we saw here tonight at Daytona. Again, Dalton, thank you for joining me in the booth. We'll look forward to seeing some more race action from you guys next week at Michigan.
All right, thanks, man. I look forward to it.
There you have it, folks. What a great night of racing, a great organization named in the series, the Children's Dream Racer Cup Series, kicking it off here at Daytona with a 100-lap event, and in good fashion, finished under the green with a great night of side-by-side race action. Let's take a look at the results here. Once again, Dylan Landry coming away with the victory. The 87 of Craig Embry in second. Ryan Cobb, Shaquille Ray, your pole sitter here tonight, rallied back to finish fourth. Glenn Murphy Jr., most laps led there out of the 48 car, is going to finish it up. Total, I believe, 42 laps there for the 48, finishes in the top 5. Hoyt Smith, Randy Arms, Kevin Trzynski, James Duke, Jason Ashby, rounding out your top 10. Looking on back, John Ailes, David McMahon, Eric Burrell, Thomas Conhitty, Steve Wilson, Joseph Green, Joshua Clark, Danny Bowman Jr., Philip Neese, after a 4 lap to go, engine blow, finishes 19th. Rob Haynes through 20. Stuart Joyce, A.J. Bernies, Dalton Baldwin, Vern Bradley, Michael Tant, David Collier Jr., after the major incident with Ostrander, both them finished 26th, 27th, respectively. Carpenter, Nichols, Springer through 30. And rounding out your field, John Joyce, Sean Garreau, Jonathan Schwartz, Cameron Hearn, Sammy Holmes, Scott Tucker, Stephen Landry, Clay Dildine, rounding out the field here at Daytona. Again, tonight, next week, the Children's Dream Racer Cup Series continues at Michigan International Speedway. Definitely want to tune in. Next week, 9:15 Eastern on Tuesday, find more of our lineup. Tomorrow, we'll be on iRacing Live with the Modified Madness Junior Championship Racing Association. If you haven't done so, hit that subscribe button, hit the like button, folks. As always, we thank you for tuning in. I'm Dustin Caldwell saying thanks for watching. We'll see you tomorrow night here on the Digital Forge Broadcast Network.